It was another very chilly night, and another day passes of you being experimented in the laboratory. Your parents sold you to the scientists because, well, they needed the money, and you were their only child. You always would wonder on the thought, who named you? Was it your dad? Or was it your mom? You never really knew your parents that well, but wished you got to know them more before they shipped you off here. No one had known about this underground laboratory. They would experiment on all sorts of things and human beings. You once remember a blue haired unicorn looking child here, but had not seen her in a while. She had probably expired. You used to gaze out into the stars or at the sun in your cell, but they had taken you out of there and now you only knew darkness. You would always be jabbed by needles and experience, oh, quite interesting results. Once you grew a tail and then it disappeared. It was quite fascinating to you, but it was a very painful experience. You had created the ideal for you that there was no life outside of this horror show and that no one was going to come to rescue you. That is what you have been telling yourself for almost 20 years. You had tried to escape multiple times from this hellhole, but have failed miserably. And then they would electrocute you and conduct even more experiments on you. You hated it here. Any opportunity to escape, you would take it. Few weeks passed since you had this thought, and then suddenly you heard a crash. There was a lot of screaming and sirens going out. This is the first time you ever experienced this through your stay here. Then one thought came into your mind. Has someone finally come to my rescue? You pondered. You were so delighted and filled with so much happiness when you thought about that. But then doubts came into your mind. Why would they rescue me? I've been here for so long and yet no one came to my rescue. I think they're just here for the younger ones and the scientist. Why would they bother for me? I'm just insignificant. You heard the door crash open and smoke entered through the room. You started coughing and gasping for breath. When the air cleared, you saw a young boy, no younger than you, but no older than you. His costume was dark green and he wore white gloves. He didn't look very threatening, but he looked very furious with the result of this expedition he was attending. He took one look at you and gave you the brightest smile you've ever seen. It was the brightest smile you've ever seen in your life. It was filled with reassurance, saying that now that I'm here, I will let nothing touch you. I will protect you with all my heart, my might, and my strength. With that bright smile and that young look, you realized he was just a rookie. They sent a rookie to save you. You sighed to yourself. Of course, the pros wouldn't want to save me. But you were really touched that this young boy had looked everywhere to make sure that there weren't other hostages left behind. But what made him think that you wanted to be rescued? Well, you did want to escape, but you had no will to live, no hope for what you could do after this expedition. What will you do once you leave? Where will you live? What will you eat? And all that pain you were made to endure, you don't want to experience it anymore. You just want to die peacefully along with this place. You look at him and smile back and tell him, My friend, I have no will or reason to live. Please, I beg you, leave me here. I don't want to live anymore. I have no reason to. What's the point? He waves the air to get a better look at you. What do you mean, what's the reason? There shouldn't be a reason for why you were born. There never was and never will be. You have to find and define that reason yourself. But you must be rescued. I'm not going to let you waste your life just because some idiots wanted to make your life a living hell. I promise. I'm going to take you away from this hellhole. And I promise to protect you because that's what a hero is supposed to do. I'm not going to leave you behind. You sigh. This green boy will not be convinced. I know, he suddenly spoke up. Let's play a game of rock, paper, scissors. That way, we can decide who will get to choose. If I win, you have to let me take care of you and rescue you from this place. If you win, then I will leave you here to do as you please. Is that a deal? Let's shake on it. You shook his hand. But you knew that you were going to win. If there was one thing you were good at predicting things. This boy was most likely to pull out scissors, hoping that you would pull out paper out of having no brains. So, you decide to pull out rock. Rock, papers, scissors, shoot! You sighed, seeing his 2 fingers. Ah, I knew it. But there was something wrong with them. They were positioned a different way. You looked at him in a curious way and asked him, "Hey, what is that?" He looked at his 2 fingers, examining them, and looked at you with a cheeky smile. "Oh, well this is a gun. No matter what you pull, you will lose." You looked at him with utter bewilderment. Not out of fear, but out of amazement. This guy used his brain really well. "Now come on, we gotta get out of here before something happens." He picked you up in a piggyback way and had run towards the end of the door. You never thought you'd see the end of that door. You smiled at the sight of the sun and never thought you would be rescued by a guy with green hair and a handgun.